If we look at the colour wheel, we can see that green is the opposite of red. They are in contrast. Green is made from blue and yellow, which is everything that red isn't. They're opposites, and they will balance each other. I've placed green next to the red, and because the green follows the red like a shadow, it will be well positioned as long as the red was well positioned. The positioning of the green is totally determined by where I previously placed the red. I wanted to add another colour to the canvas, and I chose purple. I looked at the white spaces and I spread the purple evenly across the canvas. You can see this more clearly if I remove the other colours. Now it is easier to see that the purple is spread out across the canvas. Each area of purple balances the other. Now let's bring back the colour. If we look at the colour wheel, we can see that opposite to the purple is yellow. The purple isn't balanced as a colour because its complement or opposite isn't present. However, that statement isn't completely true because yellow isn't present in its pure form, but it is present. The purple seems comfortable when it's placed next to orange, and that's because orange contains yellow. The more yellow I add to the orange, the more it will balance with the purple. Colours hide within each other, and this makes the process of balancing more complicated. I chose an orange that would balance the blue, and the best orange in that scenario is an equal mix of red and yellow. If I wanted to balance the purple with orange, I could change the colour and make it more yellow, although this would make it less effective at balancing the blue. I don't want to disturb that colour balance between the orange and the blue because they are well balanced. It doesn't seem right for this particular piece of artwork, although we can alter a colour so it balances to other colours. And it is an interesting task for any artist, and it does come up in many pieces of artwork. But for now, we won't complicate matters. As with every painting, there are lots of directions to take and lots of different ways that you can balance the colour. I chose to add yellow to the canvas in order to balance the purple. When I placed the yellow on the canvas, I could see that the white was being lost within the painting. I could have left the picture as it is, but I don't want to balance one aspect at the expense of another. An imbalance is always something to respond to. An imbalance tells me that the image isn't finished. As an artist, you've probably seen many pieces of artwork where you have looked at the image and thought about what you would do, what you would like to add. In those moments, you've spotted an imbalance and intuitively you've thought about how it can be balanced. Sometimes a piece of artwork just needs something else. As I went further into this painting, I needed to ask myself, have I balanced detail and space? Is the colour balanced? Are black and white balanced? These questions are appropriate for this painting because these are all the key elements within this piece of artwork. The piece looked good, but it just needed some of the white bringing back. There was also space for some more detail. I combined both of those needs and I added some white detail. I added this detail across the whole canvas, being mindful not to create any further imbalance. I was coming to the end of my image, so I didn't want to create something else to react to. I was moving towards balance in order to complete and finalize the piece of artwork. You may be wondering how this process would apply to more realistic artworks. In a realistic image, it might seem as though you don't have the luxury of putting a colour next to its complement, its opposite. But you can do this in how you stage a scene. For example, in a still life, you could place a green apple next to a red apple. When you stage the scene, you should think about colour as well as positioning. The process of staging your subject matter is an important part of creating a realistic image, and a lot of time should be spent planning the image. You can also add colours in other ways. For example, if you were painting a woman in a purple coat, you could add small drops of yellow to the areas that shine as they hit the light. A very light yellow won't seem out of place. There are too many examples of how to use this understanding in realistic images. I can't list them all. I've wanted to give you the foundations of this understanding, and it can be used in any and all images. This is a way of thinking consciously about how you balance every painting, so it isn't restricted by style or subject matter. Remember to constantly look at your artwork and try to create contrast, because in doing so you will be able to balance your artwork. I hope this understanding gives you a further insight into your own artistic practice, and I hope it leads you to create some wonderful images that are beautifully balanced.